Hello to all my viewers. I'd like to thank everybody for their positive comments. I really appreciate it. This is my third segment of Cloaked Sasquatch, and I got some new evidence on my third experiment with my 3-camera setup. First, I'm going to go over some pretty exciting evidence that I got with one bag of apples that I left with no camera on it. I left it as a offering, and that's what I believe it is. When you put a bag of apples, it's an offering, and these entities can detect that. So what we did was we sent out a telepathic message to the Sasquatch or Sasquatches, and we gave them a bag of apples with no strings attached. And where we placed it was in the same area, our controlled area, where we have our 3-camera setup that we've had on 2 occasions before this one. I left the bag of apples, and we just walked away, sent them a message, and when we got back, we made one trip up there just to do some hunting, and we checked the bag of apples, and it was missing from the area, which that wasn't very surprising, but we walked around the area, and we found it about 50 yards away, and this is what it looked like. It was just about 5 feet off the ground, and it was on a little branch that was broken off, and it was put over the handle of the bag, and the bag was neatly unzipped. It has a very robust ziplock, and it was slid open. No dirt in the bag, no hair, clean as a whistle. No one has access to this area. And that bag was empty. So, our next trip was in August, and we stopped at the store. I bought a new gift, which you can see here, which is just a toy doll. And I kind of got it to match our team members, Bonnie and Sarah. So they weren't too excited about that. But I figured it'd be better than the rubber yellow big bird that we gifted last time. So we put that with the new 2 bags of apples with 3 cameras on them. We made the trip through the gate, which is about 2 miles up the private dirt road. So no one has access to this land. We drove up the dirt road, and this was in August 12th, 2015, and it was pretty wet up there from the rain and overgrown. So we drove our vehicle back into where the cabin is, and our controlled experiment is roughly about 150 yards back inside the swamp.
Oh my God, I'm stuck on something.
So this was Vince and I and the girls, and we placed the new 3-camera trap with the 2 bags of apples. We placed the cameras so they are angled where they are. This time, the one camera, I placed it closer, about 8 feet from the apples, and this way I was hoping to capture some more detail. So this here you're looking at is us setting it up in the dark. And this is where the closest camera was, where you can see it on a tree. And that is a multi camera, high definition. It's a upper level camera. There is the toy that we put on the tree to see if we can get a reaction from Bigfoot. And there's Vince in the camera, or I guess that's me. And there's a picture of one of the two multi cameras that we used. And we used a Bushnell, which is a later model. It's not the type you get at Walmart. It is it's a order camera. It's the next level above. So we had to experiment out for almost 60 days. And this is what the camera looks like on a tree. And the other two cameras were approximately 20 feet away from the target apples, which is a little bit closer than it was last time. My objective here was to see when next time we have a light anomaly or a light prism, if you want to call it that, we can get more detail. This is what the experiment looked like, and we put the two bags apples together. They were red apples, they were organic, and that is the closest camera, and that is actually the one on this experiment that caught the light anomaly. It's not quite exactly what we got last time, but as Veronica has told us, who is a spirit that we communicate with, because that's what we do, we are paranormal investigators, and we communicate with her on a regular basis, and she gives us updates on what's going on out here in this swamp with the Sasquatches. She says there are two of them that work this area. What you look at there is pictures of our cabin there, and so after we finished, we departed, and we left through our gate, which is only certain people who have property have a key to it, and we are about 70 miles from any main highway, so this place is in the middle of nowhere. We added corn on our next trip to the hog feeder, and we did that before we walked up the trail.
Okay, here we go. We're
to check on our cameras.
We're walking back.
August 12th, 2015.
We just got done filling up the feeder.
This time I had my friend Bill with me, which I've known since
we had
about 1980.
A lot of people from other countries, they request the part about walking through the woods. They want to see where we're going, what it looks like. So for now, I'm going to make sure I include this on the videos. And we are walking up on a 3-camera trap. And it's been out here for a few months now. And it's in the same spot as CLOAKED Sasquatch 1 and 2 series, that setup. One thing I noticed right away is walking through this trail, nobody's been back here in months, and there's no spider webs across the trail. And there are spider webs everywhere. It sure looks like this trail is been traveled on more than we walk on it. Look at that stick up there. That's an odd place for it to fall. Okay, we're getting closer to it. Right off the bat, I see everything is gone. The apples are gone. There's a little bit of rooting right there. By a possum. Okay, there's the camera trap right there. There's one. There's the other one on the tree right there. That looks like it's been on the ground for quite a while. And there's another bag of apples. I haven't pulled the SD cards out yet. And there's the other camera on the tree over there. Something doesn't look quite right with that camera. Yeah, it's okay. That's the new Bushnell camera. Okay. This is strange. There is the toy. I'm not going to say what name brand it is. Ah, it's still in there. I was kind of hoping he would pull the Barbie out and walk away with it and leave the package, but I guess he didn't want it. He rejected the Barbie. You hear that?
Yeah, I heard something. I heard a big branch snap.
Yeah.
And I heard some bushes move.
Yeah, so did I.
There.
It's coming from over there. Shh, stand still for a second. Let's listen. Yeah.
When you were talking and leaned over it when I heard it.
That's weird. Yeah, we heard a branch break over there, and sounded like something was breaking as it was walking away. Make sure I got lots of clear video here. I notice a lot of viewers are pulling what they think are faces out in the woods, like interdimensionals. But you never know. Yeah, you're 70% hearing impaired,
Yeah.
and you're hearing that?
I'm 50%, but
That's
well,
funny.
I'd say really it is closer to 70% because I'm almost 100% in this ear, partially in that ear. That was a good break. Something
Yeah.
ran away, walking. I could hear it. I heard it when you were talking, bending over. It stepped and went through the brush.
When I was bending over with the Barbie,
Yeah.
it sounded like an intentional branch break. I mean, what would make that noise today, right now, at 6 p.m.?
It ain't a deer.
It ain't a deer, no.
They're quiet. They don't break branches like that.
And a hog would have left a long time ago. Listen. You hear that?
I hear nothing now, but I heard it when we first came.
I'm going to make a whoop sound. Whoop.
Definitely heard it walk away.
Yeah, that was really weird. What was really weird is, why was I talking over it? I heard it as it's happening, and I was still talking. Did you hear me?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say nothing because I was trying to hear where it went.
You should have said, shut, shut.
And I would have not lost
I mean, I was bending over talking, and I hear the branches breaking and something walking, and I'm still talking.
Standing still listening.
Why do people do that? Why do we do that? It's like we intentionally sabotage our work.
I could hear something. I heard it.
Yeah, at one time, a freaking 500-pound hog got up and walked right away from me, and you didn't hear it.
It's happened more than once.
I heard them bones
It's
creaking.
happened more than once.
I heard them bones creaking. I was like,
Ron said you didn't hear that. It walked right past you. I'm like, didn't even fucking hear it.
that thing sounded like an old freaking leather couch being picked up and being moved.
It was a good break. Something had to break that.
Yeah, it was an intentional snap.
Quiet. That's the loudest thing I heard since I've been here.
Yeah.
It was.
Weird. And I'll tell you, you never, when you're out in these woods, you're being watched all the time. I just want to get plenty of video here.
You filled these bags back up since the last time?
These bags
Or
are,
these the first one?
these are, well, I've done this for 25 years out here, but since I've been doing it with the 3 cameras, this is the second trap.
So you filled them the last time you were here?
Yeah, these are full. All right. Here, find a place for this Barbie. Why don't you take the Barbie out of the package and let's put it on a branch. Maybe that's why he didn't take it. Okay. I'm gonna mark these cards here. Okay, this camera's still working. I don't want to shut it off when it's in the middle of the camera taking a picture. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're going to call that camera 1, and then we're going to call this card 16 gigabyte extreme. These are high quality cards, by the way. We're going to put a 1 on that one. Okay. I'm going to close that baby back up again because we're going to take these back to the cabin and look at them. We're going to take all 3 camera cards out. Okay, we're going to call this camera 2. This one's still operating. Just saw the... Oh, if I'm out of breath and shaking, it's because we just carried about 200 pounds of corn. Fixed a feeder. Pull that card out. Same disc. I bought all these at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna mark this one 2. And in case something crazy is on these cameras, I'll have it documented. So we got 2 on the side of that camera there. Close that back up again. I'm going to walk over here on the triangulated 3rd camera. That's the Bushnell. I'm going to call that number 3. Turn to the off position. Where's that card at? It's on the bottom. Yeah. Okay. This is the Lexmark 32. So I'll mark that 3. Okay, I'm going to interrupt the video for a second here while I get a new card out for this camera. Okay, I marked this card 3B because this will be the second card. And I'm just going to turn this on. batteries aren't dead in this camera. That's weird. Hey Bill, we got dead batteries on this camera. That's weird. Alright, I'm gonna have to walk back and get some new batteries. Yep. Yep, dead as a doornail. Okay. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Well, I'm gonna get the camera running. We gotta run back and get some more batteries real quick. Because this is my star camera here.
Are you gonna put apples on here?
Yeah, we forgot to bag apples.
What else do you need?
Don't touch these. I'll tell you what. Let's not even touch these bags on the ground until we look at the evidence and see if there's something there. Okay. You know what, can you grab that? We're gonna leave these bags here. Okay, Bill, put the Barbie here. I think face is all dirty. He ain't gonna like that. All right, no. Maybe that'll entice him to take it. We gotta get some batteries in this real quick. I'm gonna keep this rolling here because, and I'm gonna hold over my head where the sound
In case the
is.
hairy man jumps out.
Well, you know, it never fails. You turn your camera off, the recorder, and bam, there's the noise. Hey, I was filming when that sound happened.
Yeah,
didn't
no,
it?
you were.
It should be on.
It was right
should
when
be able to
you
hear
were
it on
talking
the-
about the Barbie. You were bent over looking at it.
Yep.
And it was making noise then.
Should be able to hear it on video.
I mean, it sounded.
That's where it was over there.
Yeah, it was right over there. It's about where I'd say. There's a bird over there and some squirrels too, but they didn't break that branch
Yeah.
that loud.
That branch was like,
It was like the size of that.
yeah, easily. I'm gonna hold this over my head. So damn hot out here. I don't think this camera's focusing all that good. Are you kidding me? Come on, focus. There it goes.
Is that a camera or you do that all with your phone?
I do everything with the video with the iPhone 6.
Oh, you got a good one.
Yeah, it's an amazing product.
My phone will do it. I don't do that good, you know. That way, even the photos are out of use on the camera.
All right, I'm gonna shut the phone off here. All right, here we go. Let me focus this thing here. I'm gonna hold it up high.
I didn't hear anything since we've been here, and then we heard that. You know?
Yep. Well, I don't care how big a hog is. He's not gonna really step on a branch.
I don't know. I don't know how it generated noise. I just know what it heard. It was, you know, it was more than that. I just stepped out of palmetto and I can't make it sound like it.
Well, I heard him pushing
There's a
through
branch right here. It would have to be bigger than that and heavier than that. You know?
the
Like
exactly
this is what I'm thinking.
rotten.
That'll make a noise. This thing went snap.
Yep. And then you heard the bush is being pushed aside.
And the bush was being pushed out.
Hogs ain't gonna do that. Hogs have little pathways they use.
Unless it's just a walk through a branch sideways. I don't know.
Well,
I'm just saying I heard it.
it'd be pretty easy to hunt wild hogs if they did that. When hogs move away, I don't care how big they are, they're pretty silent.
They're all pretty silent. I know that.
Unless you
I've seen them walk in front of me or walk away without ever making a sound.
unless they're panicked. If they're panicked, but this thing was walking away slow.
In front of me, and plenty of them walk away.
Yeah.
They never made a sound. They don't want
Okay. Oh, it is so hot out here. It's beautiful back in there, isn't it?
It's pretty cool. It's 20 degrees colder. It would be really nice.
All right, I'm gonna stop the video and change the battery. It's coming this way.
It's made like 3 steps.
Yeah. Same spot. I didn't even get my batteries in. Did you hear that? I'm gonna change those batteries. Sort of big knock. I'm gonna put this right here. It's gonna have kind of a funky angle to it, but I don't want to shut it off while I'm changing the batteries. Did you hear anything?
Just a couple squirrels I heard.
Yeah.
I walked into 2 spider webs.
Oh my God. My thermostat not working or something?
So there's plenty of mosquitoes on me and myself burning up too. But this cartridge doesn't seem to be smoking, so that's
We're going to go ahead and review the evidence on the 3-camera experiment. Keep in mind that the date of the month is 1 month behind on all 3 cameras. So whatever you see, just add 1 month to it. As always, I'm only going to show certain pictures that are relevant to the experiment. Each camera took between 60 and 160 photos. Okay, here we're looking at Vince and I in the woods, and we are setting up a 3-camera experiment with the 2 bags of apples. The cameras were only set up for one day. That next night, something unusual happened, which is out of the ordinary. It seems that something came and took the apples from the bag on the right. You'll see a light anomaly as it's happening. Every light anomaly is different. Evidently, they're different signatures. If you toggle the video clip between here, you will see between these 3 frames that capture the light anomaly, the bag on the left seems to move about an inch or 2 back and forth. The next frame you're going to see is when we checked it in the morning, and that's what it looked like during the daylight hour. In this frame you can see that the toy doll is still in a tree. In this frame we're going to see the bag of apples that has been torn on the side of the bag, and as usual just 1 apple is remaining. For whatever reason, the entity that is removing the apples never takes all the apples. In this frame you're going to see the 1 apple that's in the bag. Every time that I've done an experiment using apples for bait in a bag, they always leave 1. In the next few frames you can see the single apple in the bag. There's always a single apple left in all my apple experiments. Whatever is taking the apple fruit is always leaving 1 behind. You can see what it looks like is possibly a hand that has grasped that bag and ripped it from the side. In these pictures you'll see us walking around, and you'll see Vince in the distance. If that was a deer standing up 7 feet, that would have triggered the camera, and the deer would have been in the picture. There in the middle of the tree is the camera that took the pictures of the light anomaly. In the next few frames you're going to see that Vince and I moved the bag of apples further down so that it's not so close to the camera, and we also removed some apples from the full bag and put them out in the open on some branches to see if we can attract some animals before we leave. Before Vince and I were going to leave this day, I wanted to try out an experiment with the apples that are on the branches. Does the mere act of putting fruit out for the animals attract the animals? Does the apples in the bags, putting them out as an offering, reserve them only for the Sasquatch entity? Well, I wanted to find out. And later that night, we have our answer. Well, it didn't take but 7 hours for a bunch of them to find that fruit.
I've got holes in different area codes.
Okay, that's about all the fun we're going to have with the raccoons, because this is a serious subject. So we're going to move on to some other frames here, and we're going to see not only a bunch of raccoons that found it, but we got squirrels, and you're going to see a possum coming up. And I'm also zooming in here on the back of the woods because I noticed that there is some different backgrounds that weren't matching up. And I know I got a lot of viewers that like to look for things in the back of the woods As a matter of fact, I noticed when I was overlaying that image I'm zooming in on was there, and then it's not there. So in the next frames that were coming up, we're just going to see these raccoons, squirrels, and there's an opossum, and they're just having at it. So I don't know what to make of my theory. Spending the last 27 years studying spirituality, I can tell you there's definitely something to making an offering. And if these are interdimensional beings or spiritual beings, or if cloaked beings have something to do with the interdimensional aspect of it, then certainly the mere act of you making an offering, just as you were to think of your grandmother, if she's passed and you're looking at her pictures, well, her spirit energy is standing right next to you. So we're going to go to trail camera 2, and we're going to review this evidence. Okay, so we're going to go back on this trail cam to 8/11/15, and remember the month is 1 off, so it's showing 7, but it's really 8. The actual month, it's 9:58 a.m. and Vince is in there. You're looking at the 2 bags of apples that are full. And then, as we know, that the next night the apples came up missing, and there was only 1 apple left, and this is the Bushnell trail camera view of what happened. And there was 62 images on this camera, and they did not capture any animals, deer or wild boar, or even a light anomaly, which is actually very difficult for a camera to get, especially at this distance. So in the frame of 8/12/2015, 10:51 a.m. in the morning, there's only 1 apple left in the bag. Okay, we're going to the camera 3, which is also a multi high definition, and this has 63 frames during that 59-day period, and I'm only going to show a few of them here. You're going to see on 8/12, Vince and I enter the scene. It caught no activity when the apples were taken. The time on it is an hour off, as opposed to the others. Why, I don't know. You can see in this picture, it's showing 1 apple. And it's always the same signature, never taking all the apples in the bag. Here's another anomaly for this experiment. This camera, we can use this for months, even years, every day. It takes frames every day without ever missing a beat. It's a high-end camera costing over $300. It went 32 days without taking a single frame when we know there was 3 raccoons on that branch. But that's what happens when you're using it in this type of environment, whether it's using it with the paranormal activity or it's a mystery, it just malfunctions, and that's what a lot of the people are complaining about. So that's the end of the video. Subscribe and leave a comment and let me know what you think.